2015, an elite DFS Army Commando unit formed to bring high-level DFS strategy to the masses. Today, hated by DFS sharks and lineup sellers alike, they continue their quest to turn Joe into DFS pros.
This is the NBA Daily Dispatch brought to you by DFSArmy.com. Go to the site, use the promo code podcast to get yourself 20% off each month of your subscription. Once again, DFSArmy.com. Use the promo code podcast. I'm your host, Al Walsh. Find me on Twitter at 14a.walsh. Find Keith Hall at Boomer's DFS Daddy. It's a Monday, which is always great. It's getting a little colder, but how about that NFL slate yesterday? That was a good one.
I don't know what you're talking about. It's getting a little colder. It's 73 degrees here.
Oh, really? Well, I was just speaking for myself, obviously, in that case.
Yeah. I guess so.
Sometimes I forget you're in Oklahoma. Sometimes I just think you're in, like, the next studio or something.
Yeah, it's Oklahoma.
Like what? You're not down the street? Are you kidding me?
The wind's blowing like 60 miles an hour, but it's 73 degrees, so.
See, 60 miles an hour, that's uncharted territory around here, but you out there in the Oklahoma State, going to be interesting. And congrats on getting to the college football playoff.
Boomer Sooner, baby.
Yeah, my man Boomer Baker Mayfield, my man, that's Sooner. My dude. The Sooners are your team. Mayfield, my dude. But yeah, great game there, getting against TCU, getting in there. So, are you happy with the Final Four college teams in there?
I don't know how,
well, obviously your team's in.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy with it. I'm happy that we don't play Alabama or Clemson in the first round like we have, for a while. It seems like those two opponents are the basis of our demise the last couple of years in bowl games and stuff. Clemson eliminated us from the playoffs that one year, and they beat us the year before that. Clemson beat us the year before in the Fiesta Bowl, and then Alabama beat us in the playoffs, and it's just one of those things. So, yeah, I'm happy with it. Georgia is a pretty good team, but I think we should be able to take care of business.
Yeah, good game. I actually know a couple of people that are Yuga fans out there, but they love.
I've got family that's Yuga fans.
Oh, nice. All right. That should be fun. Just they love them some football down south there. So.
Oh yeah.
Good match. I had to announce yesterday because I know we have a couple NBA people that get so frustrated by NFL, but I would just like to say that I recorded 4 and change from Tyrod Taylor yesterday, and still cashed everywhere over the main slate. I think that is the most amazing thing. I know people get frustrated with NFL, but seriously, if you get it, like if you had all those guys in the Jets-Chiefs game or something like that, you can still have a good day out there. I wouldn't get totally frustrated about NFL just yet. I don't know how you don't watch football and don't have some sort of monetary balance hanging when you're watching football. I just don't know how you do it. I can't watch football and not have anything. Like, if I don't have anything, it's the season long, right? But again, that's still something with money on the line. So
you watch college football, don't you?
Why you gotta make me prove me wrong here? You know what's funny? Like, I watch college football, but it is certainly not my favorite of the bunch. Like, I don't need to watch 60 minutes, but I will watch a good chunk of it. If it's a good game.
You mean you're not watching the SWAC in college football?
Well, I mean, hell, I like Rutgers. Yeah, I'm probably more of a Notre Dame fan. I'm a fraud.
Aren't they Big East?
They are Big Ten actually now. Rutgers.
So
they should.
Notre Dame should a major Power 5 conference. So
Notre Dame should kick Rutgers out of the Big Ten and put Rutgers in the SWAC, and then everybody should be happy. Then Rutgers might start winning some football games. They're not going to do it in the Big Ten, but all right. Enough of all that nonsense. Let's get into some basketball today. Going position by position if you haven't been watching or listening to us in a while. So everything just goes much smoother like that. If you are a member of the DFS Army and you're active on the Slack chat channel, you've seen some cool features that we're going to have later on today and just some other things that we've got going on. Again, we're always trying to improve around here. We're never satisfied with what we're doing, so everything will always be upgraded. But nonetheless, let's get into point guards today. My favorite there at the top, Stephen Curry. The Warriors going up against the Pelicans. Don't forget, we've got two nice ping pong matchups going on the East Coast. We could even call it the Southeast. We got Dennis Schroeder and the Atlanta Hawks going up against Spencer Dinwiddie and the Brooklyn Nets. I like those two guys. If you look at Atlanta and Brooklyn, those are actually the two best matchups for a point guard on today's slate. Not only on today's slate, but the entire league for the whole season. These guys did play. I meant to say and but, so I kind of got caught there in the middle. But these two guys just played each other on Saturday, so that's something we'll have to take a look into. And then, of course, Kemba Walker, Elfrid Payton going head-to-head against each other. Those are both good matchups for those guys. So, of all those, what really appeals to you the most?
It's kind of hard to turn down Steph Curry under 10K still. The question is whether or not you're going to be able to fit guys around it that, are going to be good. Right now I'm leaning towards trying to get some of my Curry exposure through ancillary pieces like Clay and Draymond. That way I've still got the ability to have some Curry, but I'm not, contingent upon, having that type of matchup when I can go, I don't know. I'm not feeling Kemba. I think he's in a good matchup. I'm just not feeling that the upside is there. But I do like I almost call him Denzel Schroeder. I do like.
Whoa. No relation to Washington.
Yeah, no kidding. I do like Schroeder. I think he's a little overpriced on FanDuel, 8,400. That seems a little high. It's really weird because Elfrid Payton paying 7,400 for him. That doesn't feel like it's. There's no cheapies. Like, there's not a Dejounte Murray that's going to play 38 minutes and go for 44 FanDuel points at mid-salary tonight.
Right.
You've got, I guess the closest thing would be like a Chris Dunn or an Eric Bledsoe.
I'm a Chris Dunn fan. I didn't get to him yet. He was in my next tier of people.
There's either I'm paying all the way up for Curry, or I'm going, I might mix it up a little bit, but I'm really liking, the 5,500 range. One guy particular that I might really, 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 really be loving.
Really, really be loving?
Really, really, really. And I actually like that ping pong matchup a little bit better than.
I see what you're digging in at here. Okay.
A little better than the ones where, and it's just strictly in tournaments where, it's just be a little bit different. But it's weird. Jared Jack's popping off the screen. He had a good game yesterday. It's funny. I meant to enter all my head-to-heads and stuff yesterday like normal on a Sunday, and then the sync backed up, and I came back to set the lineups, and I realized that the default lineup I put in was live. And I was like, what? Well, I was playing the all-day slate. Luckily, I put in a good lineup, which is the reason why you do.
Nice.
And so I won some of my money back there, profited on the all-day slate, but didn't have it in any tournaments, and then ended up losing money on the night slate. So it kind of screwed me.
Unreal. See, what you need is an intern so you can get a lot of this stuff done. Like me being single, no children, no nothing, just dogs. I can handle all my stuff. But Keith here, he needs an intern. So again, the DFS Army is pleased to announce that we are looking for interns on the Daily Dispatch podcast. So I can't make that call as a full on the slate because that is not my entity. But
there's also, if you go to you can't forget Ben Simmons if you're playing on DraftKings. So,
yeah.
I think that's another good matchup. And
I'm ready to talk about Simmons a lot, but I'll do it in the power forward section.
Yeah. There's definitely some options. Rajon Rondo had a good game last time out. He gets
That's
Golden
right.
State. Darren Collison, it's kind of hard kind of hard to back off of him going up against the Knicks. We saw what the Knicks did yesterday on the back end of a back-to-back with travel. You know, you've got Jeff Teague going up against Mike Conley list. I mean, point guard there's no share of options. You've got your options today, so it's really what I do at the point guard position is probably going to depend on where I go everywhere else.
Okay. I had somebody today asking about the Denver-Dallas game, right, with the point guard situation there. So it was more Jamal Murray, but I kind of, I like the other guys involved here too. So Murray, we saw in that last game going up against the Lakers, and he just absolutely popped off. It was funny because me and Taco were kind of having a back and forth of, I was pro Murray, Taco was anti Murray. Murray ended up having a nice game, but I completely understand where Taco is coming from, because before that, Murray really has not been doing jack anything going on right now. But again, I like that matchup against the Lakers. He did have a good matchup there against the Bulls and really failed there as well.
But if you know that going
what do you
in
think
with Murray,
what's up?
I was about to say, if you know that going in with Murray, we know that Murray, he'll go and he'll disappear for 4 or 5 games.
Right.
And then he'll come out like he did against the Lakers and drop, 28 points. It's
Ta-da!
just it's just one part of it's Mike Malone. 2, part of it is the fact that, Emmanuel Mudiay is still behind him or in front of him, depending on what game. 3, you've got Gary Harris, you've got Will Barton, and you've got Wilson Chandler there that can all handle the ball as well.
Right.
And
And play minutes.
Yeah, and play minutes. And, if both of these point guards are struggling or they not shooting or Mike Malone just gets a hair up his butt and wants to do it, he'll play Gary Harris at the 1 and Will Barton at the 2. I mean,
that made me laugh. A hair up his butt.
So
they usually grow off the butt, but if you get it up the butt, that's got to be ticklish.
I mean, there's a lot of different ways that you could look at it. So,
all right. Yeah, I really don't have any other point guards to talk about. I brought up a lot of them, so let's just move it along. Keep it moving to the shooting guard section tonight. Gotta have our usual Victor Oladipo discussion. Now, the price did go up on Oladipo, just as you predicted it would. And again, typically that's what happens when you play well. Your price goes up. So I already know you're going to be
It's also what happens when you play the Knicks.
That too. So I know you're going to be anti-Oladipo here, but I do think
I'll give you a reason why.
Okay. Well, hold on. Let me give you the pro Oladipo reasons, okay? Again, going up against this Knicks team, they are favored by 10. He's probably going to do well in any event, right? That's half the battle in DFS. So, again, if you're playing a Knicks team, back to back, probably going to see a lot of turnovers, probably going to see some bad defense. Again, don't think Oladipo is going to be a bad play at all tonight, but the prices I know what you're going to come in on.
Well, yeah, absolutely, because you're talking about paying $600 more getting Steph Curry. I mean, he's the highest price shooting guard, and it's not even close today. Bradley Beal is $1,400, $1,500, $1,600 less.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and not only that, but if you sit here and you look at it, the dude is shooting at let's see here. Oh, give me the season stats, dang it.
Give it to him, dang it.
In the last 2 of the last 3 games, where he put up a 53 and a 68. Okay. The dude is shooting 72% from the field.
Woo!
Okay. He shot 64% from the field, or 63.6% to be exact, from the field on December 1st would be Saturday. Okay. He shot 78.6% against Orlando. Granted, great matchups, but are you really thinking that Depot's going to go for another 65?
It's certainly possible against the Knicks. Anything is possible. And I will say this too. Porzingis,
right,
their
Kevin
best
Garnett.
whoa. They're the Knicks' best rim protector in Porzingis is out for this game too. So just easier defense to go against than usual. Than the numbers will tell you.
I don't see it. I don't see him.
Well, all right. We've got Oladipo there, right? But let's talk about another situation that kind of
on the season,
almost mirrors Oladipo.
Just go this route. Okay, on the season, he's a 47.9% shooter.
Wonderful.
Yeah, that's great. But you're talking about a guy that over the last 3 games is shooting 73% from the field.
Yeah, that's good. It's not like his 49 sucks. It's not like he's a 33% shooter and all of a sudden shooting 78.
Is good.
I'll take 50 all any game of the year. If you tell me that a guy's going to shoot 50%, I'm on it.
Yeah, but you got to look at last year and man, come on.
Maybe he likes the Indiana air. Maybe he's not playing with the ball hog this year like he was last year. Maybe that's something. He could get into a rhythm. Well, it's fine.
I mean, last year at Oklahoma City, he was shooting at 44%.
Indiana air is good.
In 2015 with Orlando, he shot at 43%. So this guy looks like he's around a 44% career shooter. 43 and 41. Okay, so he shot 41% his first year, then it's consistent 43s up until this year where it's 49. Now, I'm not saying that I've always been a big proponent of, guys can get better. And obviously we've seen that with Victor Oladipo, but I can't see paying $9,200 for him. And you know what? If Victor Oladipo beats me again tonight with this, then he's just going to beat me. He's just going to keep beating me because I'm not paying point guard type numbers for a shooting guard.
Let me ask you something. How much of your Victor Oladipo hatred
is
because he was a member of the Thunder last season?
No, it's not hate. I love the guy.
I sense the hate in
No, I hate the price. Now, I think the price is fair considering what he's done. I'm just saying I can get Klay Thompson for $2,200 cheaper. I can get Chris Middleton for $2,200 cheaper. Will Barton, Devin Booker, Drew Holiday, Andrew Wiggins. There's not screw Andrew Wiggins. Gary Harris, Jeremy Lamb, Evan Fournier, like JJ Redick, Bazemore, Batum, Holiday. Like all these guys, he's the most expensive point or shooting guard. They just can't do it.
I
would rather play Bradley Beal against Utah.
Thinking. How about this, right? What if Victor Oladipo is like a Russell Westbrook type player where he can put up all these huge numbers and maybe we try to get early to the party. Like maybe Oladipo is a $10,000, $11,000 player and it's just starting to come to fruition now because I feel like Oladipo in Indiana now has more
He's
shooting to do a lot more things. Like Russell Westbrook absolutely just suffocated him last year in terms of his production.
He's shooting 5
Oladipo's a good player, like a really good player. He's a former number 2 overall pick.
And I get that, and I understand that. I know every argument you're making for him is great, and I get it. I really do. But he's shooting 5 percentage points better than he has career from the field. And then he's shooting 8 percentage points better from 3-point. Like, his efficiency rating is 7 points better than at any point in his career. Like, that's a massive, massive jump.
Ta-da!
Like, it's just it's an astronomical jump. I don't see it.
Okay. Fair enough. All right, I want to talk to you about Bradley Beal too, right? Because, without John Wall, he was supposed to be like an Oladipo, Westbrook type of player, just accumulating a ton of stats. Hasn't necessarily worked out that way. I've seen a couple reasons. There were some bad matchups. Back to back, even in there, getting hit in the eye, getting rocked in the dome, like all of that has attributed to it. So this is more of an anti-Beal speech, by the way, that's coming. Now the Jazz get Rudy Gobert back in their lineup tonight, just like we were talking about with Oladipo. He benefits from Porzingis not being in there and rim protecting. Well, guess what? Utah's defense, which has been kind of lenient here over the last few games. I mean, last 10 games or whatever that they've been playing without Gobert.
Well,
That's all going to change. It's all going to change tonight.
It's not just been the defense. They also play, like, if you look at the numbers with Rudy Gobert in and out of the lineup for the Utah Jazz, okay?
Uh-huh.
And we're just looking strictly, I'm not even looking at, production numbers or defensive efficiency or anything like that. I'm just talking about pace.
Okay.
You take Rudy Gobert out of that Utah Jazz lineup, they play at a much faster pace.
Oh, yeah.
Much faster. Like,
well, they got fun players.
they do have some really good players. I don't know how Utah, I mean, for all the talk that there has been, and I'm a little bit of a homer on this one, so I'm going to use an example. For all the talk about how Sam Presti is, Dennis Lindsey is very, very quietly a very, very, very good GM.
Oh, yeah.
And Quinn Snyder is no slouch at coach.
Yeah, and, it's tough, too, because, if you really want to bring high profile free agents into Utah, I mean, number one, they wear purple. Nobody wants to wear purple. But number two, you're trying to tell a guy,
they
hey,
wear green sometimes.
Our team's in Utah. You got to come live here. That's not exactly a great sell. Now, I mean, I know other people have done it. I'm just saying that's just another obstacle that they have to deal with.
So when did Rudy Gobert get out? That was against the Clippers, right? Because it was Blake and not this last time they played the Clippers, the time before.
Okay.
Or was it?
Let's see. Gobert last was in November 10th, so basically a month.
Oh, that was against the Heat. Dion Waiters and okay, yeah. So before that game, okay, the Utah Jazz broke 100, and that was out of 12 games. They broke 100 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, in 12 games.
Okay.
In the 12 games since then, they've only not broken 100 twice.
Wow.
I mean, that just goes to show you, the type of pace they play. They were winning games 96 to 87, 96 to 81. There's a 74 to 84 game there with the Heat. And now they're winning. Now they're winning games. I mean, they've put up 120 points 1, 2, 3 times since Gobert's been out. So it's not really the defense and what I'm saying, it's not that the defense has been slacking off. They're just playing, there's so many more possessions to go with Gobert out of the lineup that, and I guess you can make an argument they go hand in hand, defense and pace. But, right. I mean, Golden State Warriors played a great pace, and, they've led the league in defensive efficiency the last 2 seasons, just with all the tip passes and everything that they do. So here's and the reason my argument is this. If we get word that Rudy Gobert is only going to be on a 15-minute limit or a 20-minute limit or any type of limit that could be insignificant to making a huge impact on this game, the pace of the game, not just the matchups, the pace. I actually like Bradley Beal as a tournament play. If Rudy Gobert is going to be limited to where the Utah Jazz are going to play at a higher pace than they normally would with Gobert in the lineup and playing his 35 minutes or 34 minutes or whatever it is, because this is not like a hand injury. This was a knee. Okay? So there is a conditioning factor that we have to take into account here. Not only mention that, but it's also in Utah, which is a little bit of an altitude. So if we get word, I actually like some of these Wizards. If Gobert is full board, ready to go, no restrictions, it's a complete fade on the Washington front. This game, I don't even think this game breaks 200 on the Washington. What's the total now?
I believe it was 201, right? I meant to put that in my chart.
Where is it? Yeah, I've got it at 201.
201,
right now.
All right.
So that's just and That goes a little bit for an elevated price on Donovan Mitchell. You could probably make a case that if Rudy Gobert is not limited in this game, you could probably fade this game completely, honestly.
Yeah. I'm glad that we're all on board here, and we've outlined a bunch of different situations of why that's viable. That's not just a shot in the dark, but really, I mean, Gobert just absolutely slows down not only his own team but the entire game. So it's like putting a tractor trailer on the NASCAR track.
Yeah.
Wow, that might be a fabulous analogy. I'm gonna use that forever and ever.
And it has nothing to do with the fact that I don't think there are good matchups, but you got to look at it, let's go Donovan Mitchell, okay, on FanDuel. It's a $7,500 price tag. A lot of that price increase has not only come because he's performed well, but he's performed well lately in these matchups. Like, I still think he gets the shots off. But I think from the way that I've been watching Donovan Mitchell play, which is why I've been all over Donovan Mitchell since about the second or third day, ever since that Oklahoma City game where he came in and he had a great game. I think honestly he works a lot better or he didn't have a good game that game. But I like the way that he was going. I think he works a lot better in paced up matchups.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And it's just the way that it works. I mean, you're talking. He shot the ball the game where he just got 41 points. He shot the ball 25 times. Now that's kind of the anomaly. I mean, he's not going to shoot the ball. His average is right there around 15 to 17 times. But that's still 15 to 17 shots. I mean.
Yeah.
You're getting me 15 to 17 shots in a up and pace game. Now, granted, with Gobert in, he still had games where he would shoot the ball 20, 21 times, but it's not as consistent. Like, there's also games in there where he only shot the ball 7 times, But since Gobert left on November 10th, okay? 18, 19, 17, 15, 9. Which is the anomaly, and that was against the Magic, where I think they just ran him out of the gym. 19, 10, 16, 12, 16, 25. So he's got double-digit shots in every game but one since Rudy Gobert's out.
Oh, my. Also want to mention, too, Raul Neto going to be back in for the Jazz tonight, so I believe that will affect Burks. I don't have 100% guarantee on this just because of how well Burks has been playing, but I do think that it will affect him enough at his $4,800 price tag. What are you thinking here?
It affects Burks so much to where he doesn't even pull in BS.
Wow, really?
Yes.
Okay,
unless they
that
changed,
answers that question.
Unless they changed him to a point guard.
Yeah, and like I said, I mean, it's just because of how well Burks has been playing lately. Like I figure, not in a projected analytical sort of way, it does, I guess that it makes sense for it not to come up, but just thinking at it from a real life perspective, I mean, hell, Burks has put up 88 fantasy points here over the last 2 games, so
yeah,
I would figure that you gotta make room for that kind of production.
Yeah, but we've seen this before, and Quinn Snyder is not one of those coaches. Okay, Alec Burks does pull it. He's projected 16 minutes.
Yeah, that's not going to do it. That's not going to do it.
No, not at the $4,800 price tag.
Just a quick look at the game log, just looking at all his minutes with 16, 18 minutes, something like that, not even pulling up to 20. So
yeah, so Hood and Nudo strictly affect, Alex Burks' production. So
right.
That's kind of my thoughts on that. So, but no, shooting guard is and we've talked a lot about shooting guards.
We have,
but I think it's important because those two situations up at the top, or 3 situations, I should say. I mean, that's really, really, really where I don't want people to go start chasing things because situations change based not only on personnel but also price.
Yeah.
If Rudy Gobert was out this game, then I could say load up Donovan Mitchell, load up Bradley Beal, but because that's a really good ping pong if Gobert was out. But since he's slated to play, then it's really going to depend on if they're going to put any sort of restriction on there. And hopefully we can dig and get some of that confirmation before long.
Yes, indeed. That's why we got to speed the pod up. Look, just three matchups here that work out well for the people involved. NOLA is actually the best matchup. Now, again, these matchups are according to the adjusted DVP. So NOLA, the best matchup for a shooting guard, that puts Klay Thompson in that position. And then you've got Phoenix as the second best matchup for shooting guards, while Philly is the fourth best matchup. We got those two teams playing each other tonight, so Devin Booker and JJ Redick both in good matchup spots there as well.
Ring.
Hello?
Dwayne Wade would like a word, please, sir.
Oh, step into my office, Mr. Wade.
How can you be forgetting the fact that Chicago's the third and the fact that I've absolutely dominated coming off the bench over the last 2 weeks?
Sir, I must have had a Stickum note stuck to the computer, and I didn't see that. My apologies. Would you like to be included in this discussion?
I would.
Okay.
Ever since the game against the Knicks, I've had one game where I have not performed very, very well. Actually, 2 games. I mean, you got to consider the Detroit game, but that was a pace-down game. So.
Well, Mr. Wade, since you're from Chicago, will you eat deep dish pizza before the game and thus be lazy and lethargic?
Giordano's is calling my name, but that's post-game, not pre-game.
Okay, all right. We were just wondering. I mean, it's so good, you might want to eat it before the game.
No.
I mean, you might want to eat it during the game. It's that damn good.
Okay, I can't pull a Nerlens Noel.
Or Mark Sanchez with the hot dog.
Oh, no, that's what Nerlens did. Did you not see that?
I did not see this.
Oh,
no.
you need to go get that.
All right.
Him
do
and
that.
him
Yes,
and,
I'm so laser focused right now.
Yeah. Dwayne Wade is actually, honestly, outside of like Will Barton or Devin Booker or Klay Thompson, he's probably the top shooting guard on my board. Nobody plays him. He's always low ownership. Nobody plays him. And like I normally will just absolutely just slam blast people for looking at, fantasy point productions, game log watching. But listen to this production. Okay, and this is all with, 22 to he's played 36 or over 30 minutes once in these games.
Okay. Oh, wait. I'm looking at it right now. You don't even have to say it.
Yeah, well, I've got to say it for everybody else. starting with the Knicks, okay? This is going the Knicks to the Memphis Grizzlies. 35, 25 against the Hornets. Batum was back. More of a pace-down game, whatever. LeBron took over that game, I do believe, too. 53, 22, 31, 16, 33, 30, 31, 33, 41, 31. He's 6,500. It's harder for him to pay off the salary now, but
yeah, that's the thing that's sticking out to me is that
But when we talk about the salary value chart,
sure,
the GPP value chart, you've got to take into consideration its ownership. The higher the ownership, the higher they need to score in order for it to hurt you. The lower the ownership, and Dwayne Wade on an 11-game slate, he will not be over 7% at $6,500.
I dig it. And, you watch the games, too, with the Cavs. He just looks so much more comfortable out on the court now. And, again, it's an adjustment period you had a lot of vets, right? A lot of guys that have played a lot of basketball kind of coming together now for the first time. And, it really was a clunker at the beginning, but they're rocking and rolling now. So
yeah, Wade, do me a favor. Call Melo. Tell him how much it's revitalized your career coming off the bench.
Oh, man. Man, I can't do that. I'm Melo.
And this is totally off topic, but how does the no-name, like LaMarcus Aldridge, Kawhi Leonard list, Kyle Anderson list, Tony Parker list, Manu didn't play, I don't think, but maybe like 8 minutes, and then Powell didn't play the whole second half. How do they keep it
Okay. I thought we were going to find a way to attach it to the discussion, but
if there was there was, because if if the NBA title was given out by just players perform or like teams being ahead at halftime, the Thunder would win the NBA title going down.
You would win the half game finals.
Yes, we would be the best team in the NBA. Nobody would beat us. But
The half game finals champions. You don't even like when you have a parade for that. You just get one of the sidewalks. You don't even get the middle of the street.
Oh, and Cleveland has reserved the right to have an 0-16 parade. Like they've already filed the paperwork and stuff. There was a guy that did that, so that's fun.
Okay.
Anyways, back to live action.
That's just great. All right, one more situation I want to talk about before we move on from shooting guards. Memphis, right? So Tyreek Evans went bananas in that last game against the Cavs. Even on the back end of it back-to-back, he just absolutely crushed it. So
that's the Tyreek Evans that when I say he's the point guard, that's the Tyreek Evans that we're looking for. We're not looking for the 25 again or the 28 against Brooklyn or the 29 against San Antonio or the 30 against Portland. No, we're looking for the 45 against Indy, the 42 against Dallas, the 59 against Cleveland. Those are the ones we're looking for.
Indeed. And I don't know if he'll get it tonight since they are playing the Timberwolves. He will likely have that matchup with Jimmy Butler. So Evans is 7,400 on FanDuel tonight.
I can't go there. Not against Jimmy Butler.
I have a feeling you're gonna get a lot of ownership because of what he did against Cleveland, right? And when people look at Minnesota, maybe they think, oh, maybe he'll get, Jeff Teague, or maybe he'll get Andrew Wiggins. No, like Jimmy Butler is his. Like the two of them are gonna be attached at the hip all night.
Yeah.
No, so
it's gonna be like Xavier Rhodes on Julio Jones.
Oh my! So you went there too soon, but. Tyreek Evans, big no tonight, and he will be in the caution section right below Bradley Beal.
He will be in the do not play section.
He may even go above Bradley Beal. I just did because Bradley Beal, BB, alphabetically, it's whatever. I'm done talking about it. Let's talk about small forwards. They're exciting. Giannis Antetokounmpo going up against the Celtics tonight. LeBron James going up against the Bulls tonight. We're never gonna get a slate where these two are on different. Like they're always gonna be attached at the hip.
Well,
they're gonna be attached at the hip like Tyreek Evans and Jimmy Butler tonight forever.
It's just like Giannis and James Harden last year. Remember the beginning of the season they were always on the same slate, and we kept fading Harden and playing Giannis, and it kept just making us all the bucks. Like
I thought it was a little different, right? Because of the price. These like Greek and LeBron are, usually like $400 away from each other.
Who is going to play Giannis against Boston over LeBron?
I will.
Thank you.
Let me be on the pro Greek side here, right?
We can't argue on this one because.
All right, well, there's a couple of things, right? Like Boston statistically is the number one defense in the NBA. I've been saying this now for the last couple of games. These stats are going to normalize. And I posted a picture today in the Slack chat channel, and I'll post it again on my article today. But if you take a look at the fantasy point totals from, I don't know, we'll just say maybe like 10, 12 players here since November 15th. You're going to see a 70 from Andre Drummond. You're going to see a 50 from Devin Booker, a 43 from Tobias Harris, a 43 from Harrison Barnes, a 43 from Dennis Schroeder. Like, people are still having good games against the Celtics. And if you want to keep going on down the list, you got some other, guys like a Dion Waiters, Wesley Matthews. I mean, Christ, everybody in the DFS army has Goran Dragic on their no playlist by now. He put up a 40. We'll just round up to 41 against these Boston Celtics 2 weeks ago. So, again, it's certainly possible. The Greek himself, I believe he had 59 in one game, 64 in the other game against the two previous times against the Celtics this season. Here's the best thing about Greek, though. The last 3 games for him, he's been doing all his damage in 2 or 3 quarters. Like, he hasn't even needed the fourth quarter to do it. Tonight should get more minutes against the Celtics.
Well, that's what happens when you play Sacramento 2 out of the last 3 games.
That is true. A lot of His start to the game on Saturday was the thing legends are made of.
Yeah, I mean, the only person that I've seen start a game off that quick has been Russell Westbrook. It's unbelievable what this kid is doing, and he's doing it with help. I mean, he's got Eric Bledsoe and Chris Middleton there to help space the floor. And guys, I talk about it all the time. Spacing is important. You know, we see Golden State struggle when they take guys like Draymond or Kevin Durant or Curry off the court. They struggle for, you know, whether it be a half or whatever. They do struggle when they're off the court for extended periods of time. Don't get me wrong. It was working phenomenally with Brogdon and Middleton working there. It's working now. You can take Dellavedova out of that mix, which kind of, well, I know, but like he didn't create spacing issues. But now you put Brogdon into that second team and you add Bledsoe into that starting role, and now you've got more. You've got a sustained spacing problem throughout the game. Now Boston, they are very athletic. They are very good defensively as a team, but individually there are some holes to be lacked, and I don't see Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown slowing down Giannis tonight, because I think that you're going to have to put Marcus Smart on Middleton. I mean, Smart will be on Giannis a little bit, but not a lot, because Giannis will get somebody in foul trouble, and you don't want that to be your best overall defender. I mean, I love Giannis. Not that I don't like LeBron or Kevin Durant or, you know, I just really love Giannis.
Yeah, he's cool, man.
And this and these three guys, this is the reason why I'm so intrigued by the mid-tier in the point guard position. And, you know, so that's the case there.
We'd be damn fools for not talking about LeBron and his matchup against the Bulls. Now, what's interesting here is that you've got LeBron going up against a team that has the third worst defensive efficiency in the NBA. This is always something I look at when we're looking at superstars going up against just bad defensive teams. Like, it's always not a bad idea, but at the same time, you could get clipped because of a blowout and not get as many minutes. Sometimes it sucks, but I think the safeness is always there when you got a superstar going up against a really bad defense like this. So I dig it. I mean, I like LeBron. I think it's a good idea. I think it's a good idea to pair him and the Greek up in a tournament if you can do that.
I would rather. This is where my roster construction is going right now, and it could totally get flipped on its head as we get more news. I would rather play Giannis and Kevin Durant and get my exposure through LeBron, through Dwayne Wade, and Kevin Love.
Okay, I see what you're doing there. That's not bad.
Because at least then I know I'm getting some exposure to LeBron. You know, it's a little bit different because with Giannis and Bledsoe and Middleton, you don't know which one of the other two are gonna, you know, really take. With LeBron, it's those three guys. Like that's their quote unquote big three right now. You know, with Durant, he can, you know, go bananas and do whatever, and he doesn't, you know, you still get exposure through Curry and Draymond and Clay. Mm-hmm. You know, they all kind of work well together. I mean, you don't even have to play Durant because you can go get Clay and Draymond. But that's kind of where I would say is like LeBron's in play, but I don't think you have to have LeBron where I think is in Giannis, because LeBron is $400 cheaper, because Kevin Durant's $2,000 cheaper. I don't think like you have to. I think his ownership's going to be low enough to where you don't have to worry about, you know, do I need to fade Giannis because is he going to put up 60 and I can go get LeBron who is cheaper, Durant. Like, I think you can play Giannis without any worry.
Yeah, and something else too, which is interesting. So I'm sure people are going to ask, oh man, well, what if the Cavs blow out the Bulls? Well, I will say these two teams are much different than they have been the last 2 or 3 years, but the Bulls are 7-2 against the Cavs in their last 9 meetings, covering 8 times. Bulls have always, like, obviously, according to those numbers, they've played them well, but, even visually on TV, the games are, they're just very competitive. Hell, there was a game I forget what happened in the regular season game. I think the Bulls were up by a lot, and then the Cavs came back. I don't remember that. I gotta look into that real quick, but,
because it was
I'll
at the
forget-
beginning of the season, and that's when the Cavs were just sucking at the beginning of the game, and then LeBron came in and took over.
You're right.
I still think the Bulls won.
I also want to say too, even in the preseason meeting, this same Chicago Bulls court, that was actually a dress rehearsal for the two teams. The Bulls came out on fire. They smoked the Cavs that night. Again, it was when they were in the beginning, and again, it's preseason. I'm sure they really didn't give a shit, but these Bulls can definitely play with the Cavaliers. So I would not even think about it being a blowout.
Yeah, this game at the beginning of the season was 119 to 112.
Okay, yeah, perfect. And I forgot too, the Cavs hadn't covered a home game like forever until I think last week. So that should have been my indicator there anyway. Drew, what the hell is his name? Justin Holiday too. He's not a bad idea for this matchup. I know he's more of a shooting guard, but don't forget about him in this matchup.
Mm-hmm.
Going up against LeBron. All right, too. You mentioned Kevin Durant. Where I like Durant here. I know it's a back-to-back, 3-4, 4-6 for the Warriors actually, but they've been kicking ass on this East Coast road trip. So, even when they went down to Florida. So again,
he only played 28 minutes last night.
That's where I'm going. I'm going. I don't think their minutes have affected them the last couple of games to where this really matters. So I think Durant is nice there. But what I also like, you got a New Orleans team who's pretty damn sloppy, a lot of turnovers. The last time, or actually the first time that these teams faced each other, because Durant didn't play in the second matchup against Nola, but Durant had 7 blocks in that game against the Pelicans. Now, I would have liked that situation more if Anthony Davis were in the lineup. I do think he can make that up in steals, though, against this New Orleans team. They're a very sloppy team, so I like some peripherals that Durant could do in this matchup. And he's well rested.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good game tonight. That they shouldn't have any problems with this. I still think that they're gonna win. I don't think it's gonna be a complete blowout. They might pull away at the end, but we're projecting Kevin Durant within 34 minutes because that's built into his price. So
yeah. Absolutely. Good point. All right, let's talk about Harrison Barnes here. And regardless of what the DVP or the ADVP says here, I might be a cash game only Harrison Barnes interested party tonight because, Denver does have the best, Denver does give the best matchup for power forwards out there this season. There's no doubt about that. They've been getting their ass kicked one way or the other. But you take a look at what Harrison Barnes has been doing lately, and at his price, what he's done this season. Not really a high upside guy. Hasn't hit the 50-point mark yet at all this season. But I have a picture that I'll have on today's article where basically the line that we need Harrison Barnes for at tournament value and where he's been this season. It ain't pretty, folks.
Yeah, I mean he's only hit 43 or 4 times this season.
Yeah. It's like the photo does more justice, but
you can.
It was a nice sell job.
I'd rather play Robert Covington for $100 cheaper. You can go to
like it.
Courtney Lee, who's still somehow $5,500. I mean,
is Courtney Lee a shooting guard on FanDuel?
No.
I never look at his name, but he's a good idea.
Yep.
We didn't even talk about him. Oh no, Courtney Lee's a small forward. Look at that, folks. Look at that. All right.
I mean,
he actually gives he's a guy that actually gives a damn, Courtney Lee. So he might not be too bad tonight, even in the Knicks back end.
$1,500 less. I'm getting the same ceiling.
Yep. When I mean he's a guy that actually gives a damn, he'll probably play no matter what.
High effort, high energy kind of guy.
Indeed. Some other guys we didn't talk about. Jonathan Simmons of the Orlando Magic going up against the Hornets tonight.
No.
Not a fan?
Not against Michael Kidd, of course not.
Okay, and then we've also got Darius Miller of the Pelicans. Probably going to log more minutes with AD out of the lineup tonight.
Now, this is a guy I could probably get behind. I've got him.
All right.
I think we've got him slotted at 36 minutes.
I don't want to be immature, but you did just say this is a guy that I could get behind. I just want to let everybody know. So, okay.
Thanks. We've got him slotted at 34 minutes. So.
Oh my God, 34 minutes at $3,700 on FanDuel, folks.
Yeah.
Eek, look at them apples. All right, well, there you go. Any other small forwards before we go to the power side?
No, we got to watch that Wilson Chandler situation. That's gonna kind of depend on everything, but no, I'm good there.
Yeah, but the Wilson Chandler situation, he was pretty close to playing the last game, so I would assume.
One guy that actually, yes, there is one guy that we need to talk about. Actually, no, I'm not going to talk about him right now. We'll talk. He'll be in my notes and he'll be highlighted in big, bold, capital letters.
Ooh, those are fun. Okay, sure. All right, so yeah, we're all done with small forwards. Let's go to power forwards here. And again, I did say that I want to talk about Ben Simmons tonight because hasn't done so well. 3 of the last 4 games, including on Saturday where I had him as the cover guy, and I thought he would be low owned, but he ended up being 38% owned. I guess a lot more people read my article, or it was copy and pasted to others out there because I just did not see that coming. Especially. Yeah, I guess so. When LeBron and Greek were on the slate too, it was a weird thing to say.
And the only reason why he did well against Washington is because they were intentionally fouling him. He shot 24, 25 freaking free throws.
Interesting. I didn't think of it that way, but that's good.
He went 14 of 25. I was sitting there going, he came back he missed the Orlando game, came back against Cleveland, did not look right, but he's not right. I'm not.
Where the hell were you on Saturday when I could have used that?
I didn't expect somebody to shoot shoot 24 free throws.
Yes.
He didn't even. It wasn't like they were fouling him hard as he was going to the rack.
Yeah.
No, they were intentionally fouling him to put him on the line to take the better of the and that right there, that little stupidity of him not being how somebody can I understand having a bad game, but the dude's like a 52 or 54% from the line this season. How are you that talented? And only a 54%. It just doesn't make sense.
He's long. He's long though. I think what some of these guys have to do is they have to not necessarily stand right at the free throw line.
Kevin Durant's long.
Well, hey, there's talented people out there. What are you gonna do? But maybe he should stand in the middle of the little free throw bubble there.
I mean, there's nothing that says that you can't stand 3 or 4 steps behind.
I'm just saying, maybe I should become the Sixers free throw coach, but I would obviously be a terrible human being in the games that they play the Nets,
Yeah, I mean, look, you go against the Pistons. Now, Joel Embiid did take it kind of personally against the Pistons. That's the whole Drummond and Embiid situation. So
sure,
that could have had a little bit to do with it. But Boston, they're a good defensive team. Tatum was
also a back-to-back for him.
Back-to-back.
All right, well, here's the thing that we're just tiptoeing around, right? They're playing the Suns tonight, so this is a damn good matchup for him. Should be a get-right matchup.
Here's how you play Ben Simmons. Here's how you play Ben Simmons.
All right.
Okay? Oh, sorry, it was not 24 free throw attempts. It was 29.
Okay.
He went 15 for 29.
It's a number with an enclosed space on a stick, so you were close.
Yes. Here's how you play Ben Simmons. You pair him with Joel Embiid. You get the combined correlation, and you go to town. You go away. You don't play. You can play Embiid by himself, but if I play Ben Simmons, I want him, and it's more for DK, I think, where I can get the double-double bonus. And not saying that he's not good playing FanDuel, obviously, but I want the correlation play. I don't want Ben Simmons by himself because at 10-5, 25 hurts me.
Yeah.
You know, but if he goes off for like 45, yeah, that's not great at 10-5, but the correlation of him going for 40, 45, and then Embiid going for 55 in a combined sense, now we're talking a little bit.
Yeah.
But as far as just solo plays, I think there's much better spots on the board.
When we're looking at Phoenix from an ADVP perspective, they are 5th worst against point guards, but we know that...
the matchup is prime. Everything screams, play Ben Simmons, but...
It's a high price.
See, I don't think it is. I think it's a high price if his elbow is, if he's not completely healthy. But...
I was saying it's a high price for the sort of risk that we have built in here over the last couple of games, you know?
Well,
a little bit of a doubt that we have built in from the last couple of games.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying. It's a high price since he's not completely healthy. But, if he comes out tonight and he puts up a good game, he comes out the next day, he puts up a good game, he starts to, become... I could see him being 11K. You know, if he's playing like he was at the beginning of the season, or even just 2 weeks or a week and a half ago before he missed that Orlando game.
Yeah.
Before we knew that he was hurt. You know, if he's putting up those games, then he's fine at this price. The problem is 3 out of the last 4 he's not, and we know that there's an elbow issue. So unless Phoenix is going to foul a ton, I don't see him being a good standalone play me.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah, fair enough. Situation that I don't know if I'm going to go to it, but one that we should all be aware of. Aldridge just rested last night, so he could be ready for tonight's matchup. He's fine, not going to be any injuries or anything.
Said arrested.
No,
I'm like, what?
Rested because he got arrested. But he should see huge minutes in this matchup. He played 31 minutes against Memphis in that last game well in hand, and then just rested for this one. So he should be fully charged. I don't know. We see any sort of upside here, or is it just going to be another one of those, okay, I got the 40 and we're done now kind of games?
I think it's going to be one of those.
Oh, great. I can tell from your voice that was the answer. Michael Beasley is going to be a high topic of conversation tonight. DraftKings, he's near minimum price. However, on FanDuel, you got to use your noggin a little bit. It's 5,000 there. It is a good matchup against the Pacers, but the Knicks are on a back end of a back-to-back. I think I know your Beasley stance here, but just lay it out there for the folks.
It's hard. It truly is, because
I knew you were struggling for the words, so that's what made it even funnier.
Because the question is this is a great matchup, but then again, so was Orlando. Now,
yes, a great matchup.
And see, when you look at, I don't care what the multiplier value was the day that he had a great game. I know what his price was against Houston. It was probably $3,500.
Yeah.
So, yes, that shows up as he hit 10x or 10.5 or whatever it is. But look at it as his price today. It's now $5,000. He's only hit the 5x multiplier once this season. Hard pass.
Okay,
unless you're telling me, hold on. How many shots did he put up last game?
He put up... I was on my way there to last night's box score. Babaloo-da, babaloo-doo-da. Please hold while we find
he put
this
up 19 shots. If he's going to shoot the ball 19 times again tonight in 28 minutes, I could possibly see it. Probably not.
That's so Michael Beasley, taking 19 shots.
No, I'd rather play I'd rather play Courtney Lee or Enos Kanter.
One number that pops up from Beasley that I could certainly see happen once again. 5 turnovers last night. 4 fouls isn't too much of a huge worry, but it's
Unless he
something
got
that,
3 of them in the first 3 minutes.
I obviously wasn't watching any basketball yesterday, but Doug McDermott, if we're talking about pivots off of Beasley, yes, he was a guy that I saw the alert on my phone and I just messaged everybody and I said, hey, Doug McDermott might be a good play. He played 30 minutes at damn near min price. However, I don't know what happened that he sucked so much yesterday, but
he shot 1 for 7.
I see. Well, that I see, but why were they blocked? Were they, heavily contested? Did he miss a bunch of open threes? I mean, he's a guy that's still going to take a lot of shots without Tim Hardaway, without Porzingis. I mean, 7, I'm sure, had a lot to do with Michael Beasley, but I wonder if Beasley could find it in his heart to be
No.
to be nice this evening. Yeah,
Beasley's got one
I knew
job.
it was a hard no as soon as I asked.
Yeah,
it.
Beasley's got one job is to come in and chuck it. That's his only job, is to come in and just chuck.
So
unfortunately, he's a hot or cold player. But I think at an elevated ownership at 5K on FanDuel, I think it's a hard pass. And if Michael Beasley shoots 11 for 19 from the field and doesn't turn the ball over and does everything right to get 35 fantasy points, then you know what? I'll say I was right. He just had a good game.
Yeah.
It's like some of these guys are so easy. Like you can play Domantas Sabonis for $50 or for $300 more in the same game.
Same one. No Porzingis. All right. What else here? Power forwards. Aaron Gordon against the Hornets.
No, not at 8,400.
I'm very shocked to see that Charlotte in the adjusted DVP is not as generous to power forwards as we've always been led to believe. But I don't know. I
think
guess some
that
of
has
that
a lot
has
to
to
do
do
with
with
Marvin
Howard.
Williams and Michael Kidd-Gilchrist.
I would say even Howard just being there in front of the hoop.
Because when I've noticed when they're playing Williams and Kaminsky on the floor at the same time, it's usually before the last couple games where they were fitting in Cody Zeller or Tyler Zeller or one of the Zellers. Them and the Plumleys, I never know.
I believe it's Cody.
Cody. I never know.
Charlotte. Tyler's Brooklyn.
Yeah, the Zellers and the Plumleys, I never know which one's which because they're all really big, tall, angry white guys.
Whoa.
As opposed to me, where I'm just a mid-sized,
a nice, ugly white
mid-sized,
a nice hateful white guy.
I don't want anybody to think that I'm prejudiced against white guys because I'm about as white as they
come. They stink at basketball.
But
can't unfast.
I
should know.
I think it's allowed because we know that his offense hasn't been there yet, but it's allowed Marvin Williams to play a little bit better defense, and he's been good at it. He's been doing really good at it, so I think that has a lot to do with it. But I mean, I can't play Aaron Gordon at $8,400. I'm sorry.
Okay, here's a fun one that screwed us on Friday, but I know why it did, and I knew it, but I didn't think about it until much later in the day. But Taj Gibson tonight against the Memphis Grizzlies.
He did phenomenal yesterday.
Did he? I didn't. Well, again, Sunday basketball. I'm off, man. Taj Gibson. All right, good. I'm glad he did well yesterday. So yeah, against Memphis, he'll be around the hoop more. Now the issue on Friday was he was going up against Melo, which we thought on the offensive end.
Well, he didn't do phenomenal. He had 32, so
it would be
cash game.
Yeah, good 32 for Taj yesterday.
Yeah, he did 32, so it's good cash game value. So, but I mean that's not
still. Yeah, still at that price, not bad. And again, it's Taj Gibson, it's Memphis. You're probably not going to see many people go that way.
Yeah, this game, honestly, is probably just a hard pass for me.
All right.
And besides, no, never mind. It's pretty much just hard pass.
All right. What are we thinking at power forward? My goodness. Oh, Ersan Ilyasova. I forgot he was on the slate.
But
God, I see you lurking around there, little.
That was a good call by us the other night. But that's going to depend on the Rudy Gobert situation. because he's not. Yeah, not Favors. Gobert, because he's just going to slow it down. But he's not cheap anymore either. He's 5,600. So,
Okay.
we're talking about Urson, right?
Ersan Ilyasova.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in Atlanta.
Sorry, my fault.
You're thinking about somebody else.
Yeah, I kept thinking he was with Washington. I don't know why I was thinking that.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
Same red
yeah.
team on the East Coast. They all kind of blend in together.
And
You know,
again,
I've got that Ryan Anderson syndrome.
John
Collins
Collins,
Which
out,
actually
so, yeah.
hurts Ilyasova probably a little bit.
You think so? Why's that?
Because John Collins is one of the worst defenders in the NBA at that position.
So you're
but he's out there. So Bembry and or Trevor
Booker?
It makes the rotation a little bit cloudier. Like Ersan Ilyasova at 4,500, yes. Ersan Ilyasova at 5,600. I know it's Brooklyn. That situation is very, very, very tough because
Just do
you got
it.
Tyler Kavanaugh that came in and played 20 minutes. You got Luke Babbitt who could play some minutes. He played. I mean, this is a home and home series. You've got Miles Plumlee came in and played some minutes. He played 20. You've got DeAndre Bembry who could come in and he could play some 4. He played 20 minutes. A
lot of hatred for this position today.
It's not that. It's he played 30 minutes against Cleveland. When we told you to play him, he played 20 minutes against Brooklyn. It's not as clear cut as everybody wants. And like I said, if you put him at 4,500 where Luke Babbitt is, we're having a completely different conversation.
Okay.
But at 56, I mean, Domantas Sabonis, like I said, is $5,300, and he's cheaper. You've got Thaddeus Young against the Knicks, who's a couple $100 more. You got Kenneth Faried,
Chad Young.
You got, yeah. I was like, who?
I remember I told you the last time we did a pod. That's my new thing.
Yeah,
Chad Young. Sorry, every time his name gets brought up, you're gonna hear that. So
it's just so hard to play Ersan at $5,600 when that rotation with the Atlanta Hawks is not like you would think it is, but instead of them filling the role with just one guy and maybe two, they're filling it with 4. Because Ersan and Bembry came back about the same time. That's one of the things that kind of helped John Collins explode onto the scene is because when Ersan's out and Babbitt's out and Bembry's out, you're going to play Taurean Prince and you're going to play John Collins because you're not going to replace John Collins with Tyler Kavanaugh.
Well, not on my basketball team.
But now with Dwayne Dedmon, with John Collins, they're out. But now you're getting back Bembry. Now you're getting back Ersan. I would like Ersan more if Babbitt was out.
It's interesting. He only played 23 minutes in that game against the Nets on Saturday.
Was that close? Was that game close?
It was. I mean, down the stretch, Atlanta took it away, but yeah, for the most part, it was pretty close.
So it was close throughout the game. So and that makes the situation even worse. I could see it if it was a blowout and they had it in hand in 4 minutes. But yeah, I mean, I think the big man that you want. I don't even think you can
save it for the notes. Save it for the notes. All right, we're moving off.
Do it.
We're moving off power forwards.
Whoa, I got one guy.
We're not moving off power forwards and heading to centers.
I got one guy.
Who is this guy?
It's a Dark Knight.
It's a Dark Knight.
Dirk.
Batman?
Dirk.
Oh.
Dirk.
All right. Dallas playing Denver. I see that situation. I got you.
And even you can even ping pong these guys with him and Kevin
like
Furry.
I like that. I'm glad I let you continue on with what you were saying.
Yeah,
I don't know. So maybe a Dirk and Taj combo, right? Ooh, sounds fun. Okay, that's all I got. We didn't even mention Draymond Green, but I guess
he's a play. He's always a play.
He's an honorary member of the podcast, right?
Yeah, as long as he doesn't try to kick us in the balls.
That's right. Balls safe, everyone. All right, so last one here. We got at centers. I got DeMarcus Cousins going up against Golden State. Joel Embiid going up against the Suns. That headlines the position tonight. But there are some pretty damn good other matchups tonight. But if you had to make that choice real quick, Cousins, Embiid, for people going at the high end for center tonight, where should they be going?
I'm leaning towards Boogie.
Okay.
More because that's who the Pelicans offense is going to have to run through now. Although this is must see TV tonight, and it's not even on prime time because it's not out in Golden State, but this is must see TV because Boogie versus Draymond. Whew.
Yeah.
But anyways,
two idiots going back and forth at each other all night.
There's going to be, if you are going to this game tonight, if you live in the New Orleans, well, they don't play DFS and they can't play DFS in Louisiana last time I checked, but
really?
That's I think so.
Probably because they got so many riverboat gambling boats and whatnot.
Yeah.
They don't want DFS corrupt.
All the riverboat gambling, they all have to be on the river.
Okay. New Orleans is on the water.
I know, but that's what I'm saying is that it's not like they have casinos like here in Oklahoma where it's the Indians that are fighting it, or in Vegas where it's the Vegas drug lords or whatever.
I got to tell you, that'd be a fantastic documentary. Somebody should make that about all the different casino wars. I'm sure they got a bunch. I mean, like New Age, that seems fascinating. Like a riverboat gambling documentary. I need to see one of those.
Yeah,
I'm getting so excited, my damn headphone popped out.
Yeah, because that's how a lot of the Indian tribes, they get a lot of their money here through casinos. They're the only ones allowed to have them. In Oklahoma.
Yeah,
so
that's how it is.
But no, you got Boogie with no AD, and he's where the offense is going to run. But you've got Joel Embiid who's going up against Phoenix. And does this feel like a Tyson Chandler, Greg Monroe rotation tonight with Embiid and Alex Len? And Alex Len is the odd man out.
You know what's funny is that somebody asked the question earlier. They said, I guess Greg Monroe wasn't popping up on a sim sheet or something like that. And I told the guy, I said, this is what Phoenix does. They take out one of those. They just don't play one of those centers. It's either two of the three. It's never all three.
Alex Len missed the last game. He's with an ankle.
Well, they did say he was available to play and could have played limited minutes, but again, we see how this is going.
Yeah, they're going to play. They've got three viable guys that they're going to play, and they're going to rotate them. Greg Monroe a couple days ago against Chicago didn't play. Tyson Chandler against Detroit didn't play. So, and then Alex Len. So this would be technically Greg Monroe's turn to not play. But going against Embiid, now it's not like Phoenix has anything, but they still want to try to showcase it because you can't run a 3-man rotation through all 82 games. I guess if they feel confident that Len could go on unlimited minutes in case Chandler does get into foul trouble, then. But I just think this sets up for a Tyson Chandler, Greg Monroe pairing rather than an Alex Len and Tyson Chandler pairing. But
sure.
I think, like I said earlier, I think you can play Embiid by himself. I would lean more towards Boogie. I think the ceiling is probably higher. Now I know Embiid put up a 94 game, so don't. But I still think that the ceiling is higher for Cousins on a more consistent basis. But like I said, I like the pairing and the correlation of Embiid and Simmons together in lineups as well.
Dig. All right, here's a great one that I'm sure people are going to be aware of, but on an 11-game slate, you never know what the hell's going to happen. But Marcus Gasol going up against Karl Anthony Towns. Towns has consistently been one of the worst defenders in the NBA this season. Look, Gasol's had some really big games of late. He's had some really shitty ones of late too, but I just think that this matchup too good to pass up here. So I'm going Gasol.
I like it. I see it. I understand it. I would much rather play Dwight Howard for 74 or Miles Turner for 71.
Okay. Howard going up against the Orlando Magic, and Turner was your other guy?
Yes.
And Turner going up against the New York Knicks tonight. So you get a matchup against the Knicks back-to-back. No Porzingis down there for the Knicks tonight. I like that for Turner. Dwight Howard going up against Vooch, who, I mean, we've seen him spend a lot of time out on the perimeter this season. Not necessarily a horrible thing, but I think something that, I don't know, maybe it takes some upside away.
I mean, I could see it, but
just covering all bases here, yeah.
I mean, then again, what did we say the other night against Miami with no Whiteside? Yep. This could turn into a Cody Zeller game, and what happened?
Cody Zeller did fantastic.
Yeah, Dwight Howard comes out, starts giving the ball away, commits 9 turnovers, and gets benched after 15 minutes. He had 9 turnovers in 14 minutes.
That's fantastic. He had fouls too, no?
Yeah, some of it was fouls, but like when you turn the ball over 9 times in 16 minutes, that's over a turnover a minute, or a turnover every 2 minutes.
You should have seen him in the preseason.
And he still almost had a double-double.
He was a disaster in the preseason. And he's had games where like he's had 7 turnovers, 6 turnovers, 5 turnovers. I mean, but the running goof on him all preseason was play the opposing center against Dwight Howard because he'll make his value in steals alone or blocks or whatever. So it's interesting that that has actually come back around.
Yeah, it's just it's crazy.
9 turnovers in 6. That's amazing. That is amazing.
Yeah,
oh boy.
Just,
Oh boy. All right. I don't like Turner. You mentioned. I also had Canner on my list. I know. Again, back to back, but the guy is just consistently putting up some huge numbers, and this is a good matchup against Indiana.
Yeah, it is. And he's athletic enough to get around Turner, and like the only thing I hate about FanDuel and the way I've been playing and going lately is the fact that I make a lot of teams right now. Mm-hmm. So I don't have the ability to play everybody. But you could even make this consideration and in tournaments and deeper tournaments playing at Kyle O'Quinn. Because if Turner gets Canner in foul trouble, or if Canner gets himself in foul trouble, or whatever, Kyle O'Quinn's going to be the direct beneficiary of that. And I know we don't predict stuff like this, but this is such a good matchup. In fact, it's the best on the board. That, I mean, could you see them running Canner at the 4 and O'Quinn at the 5? I mean, I could.
I don't know.
Because you've got Thaddeus Young there too.
Yes, maybe it's certainly an interesting scenario.
If they go big, okay. If New York goes big, you could throw, and I don't know if they have ever done this, but you could throw Canner at the 4, Quinn at the 5, Beasley at the 3, Courtney Lee at the 2, and Jarrett Jack at the 1.
Right.
Or
Ntilikina. It could work. It definitely could work.
That is a feasible rotation.
But as we've seen plenty of times, NBA coaches are nowhere near as smart as us.
No kidding. But your play here, and the Kyle O'Quinn play, it's not for anything unless you're like entering a lot of lineups into a tournament, and you want to get a next to nothing owned guy that has like 12, or he literally can go for 10x.
Yeah.
But understand that it could also bust and blow in your face, and he could end up with 5 fantasy points.
I wanted to just add one more thing on to the last thing I said, where NBA coaches are nowhere near as smart as we are. They only have their own damn team to worry about. How is it that we know the solutions for all 30 teams and sometimes a guy just can't figure out his own team? I mean, really, what are these guys getting paid for, huh?
Is this a a direct problem of overthinkitis?
I don't know. I really don't know. But I just want to know why me and Keith are smarter than 30 guys that get paid $multi-million. That's
30? We're talking about 60. We're talking about GMs too. And all the assistant coaches. So what, 90, 100?
Oh my God. It's countless. It's countless. And I want to look at teams' business development staffs too. I'm probably smarter than them as well. All right. We're done being smart on today's. Actually, yeah, we're done. We'll talk about Plumlee in the Slack chat. If you're an Army member, then you'll know. I'm not going back on that outro that I just had. But if you'd like to be a member of the DFS Army, you can do so. DFSArmy.com and use the promo code podcast to get yourself 20% off each month of your subscription. I really got nothing else to say. We got to finish up all our written stuff here. I know we had the pod out a lot later today than usual. Sorry about that, folks. But 'tis life, and hope you guys understand. But we'll be back not tomorrow, but Wednesday, because only 3 games on tomorrow's slate. Woohoo!
Day off. Yes, sir.
All right, me, Keith, rest of the DFS Army. We go.
Peace out.